So as you know, we have some rebuilding to do this January.
Yup.
We've made some pretty big changes, but the most important thing is that the team needs to focus on on one hand, I've got $10.75 million for.
Yeah, I agree. On that note, maybe we should just get. That does sound like a pretty good idea, you know?
That sounds pretty good.
That sounds pretty nice.
I'm glad you brought that up. I think we're ahead of the curve in that regard, and we'll just stick to the plan, and that'll set us apart. It's good, right? Wait, hang on a second. Hey, I think we should actually tell him something now. We could just cut right to it. I think one of the most interesting things of the offseason, I actually reached out to my social media guys about like, we got to figure out something about this, is that there was like a three-way trade between the BMW teams in the West, right? Cloud9 is sending off Niski to play at Fnatic. He's going to do really well over there. Fnatic sent Reckless off to G2, and that's a super exciting move. And then Perks coming to us. It obviously wasn't planned, but it's pretty cool that three top players from these organizations didn't go off to other teams. They all stayed within the family of BMW. Several weeks after we had already announced that we were going to be sticking with the same roster, we found out that maybe hours before Riot announced it, that OPL would be collapsed and that all Australian players would now be considered NA players. All of the decisions that we had made prior now had to be questioned. Around that time, this is in the middle of Worlds, I became aware that it was possible that G2 would be making changes to their roster. We knew we had to consider either of those players, Caps or Perks, to join Cloud9 and what that would mean for us, and that we knew we needed to actually pursue that thought process out. I talked with all the players, including Niski, about it. Although they might be uncomfortable with it, they at least know that there'd be nothing hidden from them, and they'll understand what's going on. So it was not as simple as like, oh, hey, Perks is available, let's go for him. There was actually a lot of thinking that went into this, and that's how the process started. Years before even thinking about Perks. I had the chance to actually work with Miffy as a coach when, I think it was Worlds 2017, when we were in China. Every off season, I would try to find out, hey, is this the year I can actually get him as a coach? And I remember specifically asking him like, hey, let's just say we're in a world where I actually sign Perks. Would that make North America more exciting for you to join? And I'll probably get the exact wording wrong, but what he said was, Jack, if you sign Perks, I'll be coming to you on my hands and knees, begging you to bring me along to North America, because that's a team I'd want to be a part of. Immediately after signing Perks, I reached out. I'm like, okay, dude, pack your bags. We're going to make this happen. And it quickly came together. At the very beginning of the season, we're going to have a tournament with all of these new teams. And within a couple of weeks, we're going to have like the North America's version of the Kespa Cup champion. And that's going to be able to set a whole new narrative based on what these actual teams are today as we go into a 6-week regular season of spring. And then the other wrinkle is that there's no record reset between spring and summer. So spring really does matter. If you absolutely just do terrible in spring, you're going to be stepping into summer with a really bad record, and you're going to be fighting against that the whole time. Conversely, like we did last year, had a super strong record in spring of like we did last year, there's a much better chance for us to get first seed going into playoffs, which really matters in our league. So, my discussions with Perks, we're going through all this stuff, we were both very excited about how this is going to impact North America.
And that will be a great strategy for the playoffs.
Exactly. It might be the same thing at MSI. I don't care, we face G2 or Fnatic, T1 or FPX.
that's, I would take them all down.
Sweet.
Mm.